So, before I begin, bit of a shameless plug. She just said it, but we just became an overnight success after 2 decades of sort of being in the business, right? And and it had a lot to do with how the year was building up for us. It started with Goa Fest, then went on to Curious, then of course Cannes. The most remarkable thing for us, the most delightful thing for us was the fact that we actually dominated not just the digital category per se. I mean, we were representing at an India level at Cannes, and we were the most awarded agency compared to what we call the mainline / analog business. I think this is the first time that had happened, right? What got us to, what did we do differently really, right? The classic answers are, हम पतली गली नहीं कर रहे थे, हम cosvertising नहीं कर रहे थे, we were not doing ghost ads, we were not doing scam ads and stuff like that. But when we actually really thought about it, we realized that we actually executed a lot of simple analog ideas in a digital way, right? Some of our work has already been shown. Swiggy, Voice of Hunger was WEBCHUTNEY. We collaborated with Google and Flipkart for the Hagglebot. And I'll come back to how fundamentally they were analog ideas with a digital execution. Let me show you one piece of work which has not been shown, thankfully, till now. This is our work for Uri, the film.
The problem of piracy continues to plague the Indian film industry. Losses are estimated to run into crores of rupees.
Despite several anti-piracy campaigns, the law remained unchanged for 67 years. Uri, a movie on the verge of release, was dreading the same fate. Therefore, for a film based on the Indian Army's covert op, we carried out a covert strike on piracy. Presenting Codename Uri, a campaign that helped change an Indian piracy law in just 22 days. On the day of the movie's release, we uploaded a leaked version of the movie on several torrent websites in the most widely downloaded formats and continuously seeded them to keep them at the top of the torrent search results. As the word got out, a social conversation started. But when people downloaded the movie, they saw a real certificate, same actors from the movie, but not the real movie.
सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक 0400 आवर्स पे स्टार्ट होगी। उनके आर्मी को पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि क्या हुआ।
ठीक उसी तरह जैसे इस वक्त हम आपकी स्क्रीन में घुस गए हैं। पिक्चर देखिए गर्व से थिएटर में जाकर।
Almost everyone who downloaded this fake movie expressed themselves on social media. On an average, it was downloaded 20,000 times from every website. The press, film journalists, and influencers started covering it.
Those who tried to torrent the film got instead a message from the film's actors.
On the 7th day, we caught the attention of the Indian Prime Minister.
साथियों, एक विषय मेरे सामने आया है और वो है पायरेसी का। और इसे रोकने के लिए सरकार सिनेमेटोग्राफ अधिनियम 1952 में बदलाव करने की दिशा में तेजी से कदम उठा रही है।
The Cabinet today has amended the Cinematography Act 1952, making penal provisions for unauthorized duplication of films through digital means, leading to 3 years jail term or 10 lakh fine.
The campaign also generated $1.5 million in earned media, 730,000 engagements. Sometimes you break a law to make a law.
Sorry about that fake accent. It was a case study for Cannes, so we had to do it in that format. So you would wonder, how is this idea analog truth that we've executed on the digital platform, right? And I'll explain the Swiggy and the Hagglebot thing as well, but much briefly. I know how many of you have seen this poster or movie? 25 years ago, me and my friends who were like easily excitable teenagers bumped into this poster, and we were obviously not allowed to enter theaters at that time. We had to watch the movie. So we cobbled together like $40 or something and figured out a VHS to rent out. Then managed to find a house where the parents were away and sort of played the movie. It was 104 minutes of runtime, and we eagerly waited for something to happen. We were, to put it mildly, deeply disappointed as the credit rolls started coming, right? This was actually the original clickbait, if you really think about it, right? Now what they call fashionably. Uri was the same thing, right? the clickbait was the torrent, if you think about it. Enticed users to download the movie. They wasted 3 GB of their data, probably half an hour of waiting, grabbed popcorn, figured, they've been clickbaited or something like that, right? Again, simple analog idea, digital execution. When you think about Voice of Hunger, it's things that look like things. I know, at least as a child, we used to do it a lot. If you go on the internet and look for cloud that looks like things, you will see all of this, right? The waveform execution in Swiggy Voice of Hunger was the same thing. It was, just look at the waveform and then visualize it as a shawarma or a kebab or whatever, right? The junior copywriter who actually came up with the idea finally told us this secret, right? Similarly, Hagglebot, I think, is the simplest explanation. Indians love to haggle and so on and so forth, right? So, these are the 3 sort of things. Now, a bit of a detour suddenly. The other work that we liked from India, I really admired Glitch's work on this Radhika Omnipresent campaign.
After her successful performances in Lust Stories and Sacred Games, Radhika Apte was fast growing in popularity. So, when Netflix announced that she was going to star in a third original, Cool, the fans started wondering if Netflix had adopted her. Our social conversation trackers showed an increasing surge in comments mentioning Radhika Apte, and our insights team predicted an increasing trend in these conversations when the title comes out. So we decided to participate in this upcoming trend and have a little fun ourselves. Enter Omnipresent, the fake Netflix original. Yeah, we get that's an oxymoron. Starring Radhika Apte as every single character.
See, as an artist, I really like to push the envelope, sorry.
We gave the fans a sneak peek into Omnipresent that also featured filmmaker Vikramaditya Motwani.
If we had to have Radhika in this film, who else would you have?
Oh, and some cheeky rebranding. The fans couldn't believe how far we took this joke, and neither could the press. And just like that, with some smart data analysis and clever predictions, we broke the internet. The campaign even got some fake posters and loving tributes on Instagram. Even brands started joining in on the conversation. Obviously, we couldn't hold ourselves back and had to have the last word again. And a new meme was born. This quick reactive content resulted in a second cycle of earned media. The campaign did so well that even 9 months after the release of Omnipresent, people are still asking, where is Radhika Apte? It's safe to say that whatever the season, Radhika Apte.
As a classic, mild crisis management turned into a great marketing sort of opportunity, right? Which is what we really loved about it. Now, the final 3 slides. 3 suggestions to get digital. Actually, Sumit said it pretty much the same thing. You should remember that whether it's the digital world, physical world, offline world, online, whatever, the consumer is analog, right? He or she is a human being. It's as simple as that. Digital tends to, like someone, I think Partha in his slide said he's not a maverick or a ninja, digital, blah, blah. I think we tend to overcomplicate the canvas of digital, right? Ideas are based on analog insights and truths. There is nothing, I think Sumit said this in the beginning, right? There's nothing called a digital code, really, right? The one thing though that digital does well, which is the third point, is it allows amplification and interactivity reach at an unprecedented scale. You've seen that with the TikTok work on Pepsi or other examples that we've been sort of showcasing. That I do believe analog world was limited to a large extent, right? Thanks a bunch. Hope this helped. Thank you for having me over.